Hey everybody out there, it's Alabama Deep and coming back at you. Okay, so I have let this dry and it looks like it is ready to go. I'm gonna get a little bit of music going here and help me relax a little bit. There we go. A little bit of Kevin Graham. Let me go ahead and get my optics down. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Let's see. Let's see. One thing I know about Rolex is that they're perfectionists when they first build one and put it together, so I must do the same to the best of my ability. And now I'm just cleaning up the dial a little bit. Looks pretty good. For the adhesive that I've been quite generous with, need to make one or two corrections on that. Looks pretty good. Okay. I think Kevin Graham's a really good musician. I like his music pretty well. There we go. One of the things I do have to do now is have to put the hands on this watch. I would use a real Milgauss dial, but this seemed to be rather expensive on eBay. There we go. With a little lightning bolt hand. Now, let me give you some further tips. When you're putting hands on your dial, be gentle. You don't need a lot of pressure. And when you're first buying your instruments and you get the cheap set, which is what this one came from, you need to fashion your tweezers or your forceps so it makes picking up the hands a little bit easier. See, trying to pick them up in the raw doesn't really work. And your tweezers can duckbill. That means that they spread out. So you need to straighten those and then sand them a little bit to fashion to the way you would like, so you won't drop the pieces of your watch as you're positioning them and rebuilding your movements. And always use that pinky finger. So as I come in and I pick this up, it's a little difficult because these forceps are duckbilling. And you have to get used to putting just the right amount of pressure so you don't bend them and also you won't drop them. And what I do when I'm putting my hands on, I'll pick them up and I'll purposely drop them because sometimes they'll fall over on their backside. So you pick them up, drop them so they fall correctly so you can pick them up and position them on the dial on where they should go. So I have that hand on, it's just about right. And I'm looking for my tool to go ahead and press down on it. Don't seem to see it right here with me. I could have sworn it was here. Let me turn that down just a little bit. Mr. Graham's just a little loud. There we go. So as I'm looking for my correct instrument to press down, I don't see it. So I rather think I haven't put it up here, though I could have sworn I did. So I'm just going to stand up just for a moment, and I'm going to get the proper tool that I need for this. Yes, I did leave it in the wrong space. There we go. So as I'm looking at this, it's about right. I'm going to twist it as I push down. That's correct. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pull the setting out to the last position, and I'm going to move that hand around. I want to see how that hand works. I also want to take a look at it from the side to make sure it's not scraping on the dial. It does rather look like it is scraping just a little bit. Oh, commercials. Can't stand them. So I'm going to come over here with my plastic. That seems to be a little too thick. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my instrument. I'm going to do it like that. And just like that, I did a little bit of positioning. Now it's off the dial. You don't want your hour hand scraping on the dial. It'll make a circular mark. As a matter of fact, I got a Submariner dial coming in with a mark like that. Alright, so that matches up very well. So that is down. Time for the minute hand. That's almost on there, right? That's almost on there to where I want it. It looks like that's going to work. Just make sure that those hands clear. And I'd rather think I need to rock it back just a little bit. let's see how that looks. I want this to go all the way around the watch. I want to make sure it does not hit any of the dial markers. That was just a hair. Oh, see, now I think that's catching just a little bit. Yeah, it is just a little bit, just catching just a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think that'll work. I just adjusted it. Let's see if it's still touching. Negative. You have to play with the watch to see what results you can get. I'm trying to feel it, listen to it, all that good stuff. I want to know if it is going to mess up at all in any shape, form, or fashion. And it looks like it's going to be okay. And I love his music. Let's see if we got something a little bit better to go by. Of course, we got commercials to go by on here, but we'll get past those. I don't have the date set on this, but it just clicked 5 minutes till 12 midnight. That's interesting. Okay, so the hands are doing good. They're not touching anymore. I'm going to put the hardest one on there at this point, and that's going to be the second hand. Second hand, it can be a little tricky. I'm not going to lie to you. When I put my second hand on, I want to get down as close to the dial as I can. And I want to hold it a little bit like this. And I want to see if I can find the shaft for the center wheel, for the seconds wheel. did I do that right? Guess we'll find out. I barely just snapped it on there. Let's see what happens. It's on there. Perfect. Let's double check those hands. Those hands look good. Now remember, you can't have it in the third position. First is going to be winding. Second is going to be the date change. Third is going to be the time change. It must be meshed in all the way, because if you don't, you're going to have a keyless works malfunction that you do not want to have, because then you have to take the keyless works apart and put it back together. This is how I remove this. That looks good. Get every bit of the dust off I can. Let's go ahead and let's case it. That's a beautiful song. I think I want to hear it one more time.
Say hello to
Most
Samantha,
definitely.
activated talking.
I like that song. So, and I do want to take a look at this movement. It is in there good. I like that. Let me go ahead and I don't like using these for this, but this one time. Okay. Now comes the point where I have to measure the stem and make sure it's going to be the proper length. running. We're almost there. And we get a little bit of oil. So I don't know if I want to use, I guess I'll use this kind and be fine. It doesn't need a whole lot. Just needs a little drip. Looks good. Get this together. It's there. Alright, so I've got it back in. It didn't want to go in, so when you have a stem that doesn't want to go in, don't force it. Give it a little lubrication. Put it back into its proper placement. Don't force it, but give it a little pressure. Move it around. If you have to, press back in on the little button that's here. Then try putting it in and release. And 9 times out of 10 it'll go back in. But I thought for a moment I was going to have a malfunction. Thank goodness I didn't. And I hope I don't have another commercial, so I'm just going to put this right back on where we were. Let me get a sip of my dew. Must have some dew. Good stuff. So now that I know I have that back in place, I need to put my little clamps. These are just little metal tabs. You can buy them on eBay, AliExpress, it's cheaper. And you'll have some grooves that the case goes down on. Well, underneath that groove is a place for these clamps to go in. And that screws into your movement. So let's see what size I'm going to have. I hear it beating away. Okay. I'm going to go with the shorter one first. I want to see how that looks. Be careful not to get these tabs into your balance or movement. You will have to play with these tabs. And I'm picking it up and I'm dropping it to get it to turn over.
There we go. I don't like the way that looks. I may have to go with a smaller one. Let me see if I can work it in under that lip just a little bit. And if you have an issue, just turn it sideways and upside down. The tab will come out. Let me try this other side. See what it looks like. I love that song. A little too big for this side. We'll hang on to it anyway. Chances are I may be able to use it somewhere. So we got a smaller one. Here we go. This one where the tab isn't so prominent. I think that's going to work right there. Yes, sir. I think that'll be just fine. I think that'll work. I'll give you a warning about these screws that you get for these little kits. When you buy these, they have an issue to have metal fatigue. So don't hammer down on it too hard. Use Loctite,
because if you don't, you're going to strip a screw, it's going to be stuck in your movement, then you have to tap it out.
It's me dropping it so I can get it to be where I want it to be.
That screw dropped right into place. And leave it just like that. Back on this side, got to figure out which tab we're going to use on it. I'm going to try a little bit of a smaller one. If you can't get a hold of it, you can stick your tweezers into the hole and expand. It'll pick it up. Oh, that's such good music.
Let's pick up. Let's see if I can slide this in. Unfortunately, I don't think that one's going to go. And being so small, it went in between the side of the movement and the watch case. Turn it up over. See if it does fall out. In this case, it has not. So pry it up a little bit and hopefully be able to retrieve it that way. It's really in there. It seems to like it. There you go, now it's out. I think I know what to do on this one. It won't slide under the lip, so I can slide it upside down on the other lip. That should hold it in place. Yeah, that looks like that's going to work. Pick it up, drop. There we go. It's in position. And it's in. So now really all I've got to do is put this extra one up I didn't use. Now I just got to adjust the stem. And so I'm taking a look at this. That's an awful long stem. So I'm going to see about what I can do about getting it over a little bit more. So that's in there. Let me make sure. Okay, don't want to malfunction. So see how long this stem is. So I don't have a marker on me to mark it. So I'm just going to nick it. Yep, perfect. I see where I nicked it. It's nice and shiny. Got a little bit. There we go. That's me taking the shavings off and where it was cut. Make sure it doesn't cut into the threads on the crown and destroy the crown threads. You don't want that at all. So now I'm going to tighten it down just a little bit, see if it fits. Use that just to hold it. Okay. And let's see how this fits. Let's do a little too much. So we're going to bring it out.
So when I look at it, it still has a little too much. So I'm probably going to say right about there will be good. Okay, it's been nicked. I can see the shiny on it. Took off a little bit more. Okay. I think this is going to be the perfect size and length now. It's on there. Perfect. Exactly where I want it to be. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to clean up around where my gasket is. I got it aiming down so no debris falls in my movement. We don't want any of that. Looks fairly simplistic and clean now. We don't want to have a gasket failure. That would be pretty darn bad. The gasket I do see is already on here. Very good. Let me go ahead and let me clean around this as well. Blow off. If you have any debris where your gasket goes and you put that gasket on there, it could fail. So take heed. And I don't have my silicone, but I can come back and do that later. I just want this to go on as correctly as I can get it on there. And it is on there. Let's tighten it down if we can. That'll be good. I don't want to overexert it. Nice. Last thing I want to do is my calling card. See if I'm correct by this Milgauss probably would have had a green sticker anyway. I'm thinking it was definitely going to be before 2005. I'm thinking maybe like 99, 96, 95, 97, somewhere around there. So it gets a sticker. I get pretty good at those stickers. Has a sticker on it. Everything has to have a sticker now. I think they're just really cool holograms. Stickers, I mean, they're really cool. I think they're very pretty. So I have about 10 sheets of these because they're like $1.30 a piece as far as the sheet goes. Final step is to go ahead and put this back in. It's back in its home. Let's match it up. Too small. We want something that's going to be just right. Wowzers, that's not just right. That's just a little too big. So we want to go ahead and try something a little bit smaller. It's in. All we gotta do is tighten it up. There we go. That's tight. That's tight. Check this one. I haven't checked them all. That's tight. I guess maybe I did when I first bought it, because I know how loose these can be. That's tight. Very good. What time do we have? 2 o'clock? Okay. Perfect. 3135 added to it. It's doing exactly as it should. Looks absolutely gorgeous. Just the way it should. Well guys, this is Alabama Deep. Thank y'all for watching. I hope I have some good advice for you on this particular video. My Milgauss now has 3135. In my next video, I want to show you how I'm going to regulate this so it can have as little time loss as possible. So that's next. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. Like, share, subscribe, leave your comment below. If you have any questions, you know what to do. If anyone wants to have me work on their watch, go ahead and give me a email, jjembalm@gmail.com. If you want to, you can look me up on Facebook.